Today's video, we're going to be talking about CrossFit. What is it? So a lot of people, they see the CrossFit, they want to join, they're hesitant, or maybe they're brand new. Maybe you're out there and you're brand new and you just want to know a little bit more about it. Well, in today's video, I'm going to explain, I'm going to break down what exactly is CrossFit. So if you've got a couple minutes, stay tuned and roll the footage. Okay, we're back. So the first thing we're going to talk about is what is CrossFit. So I'm going to break it down to you. They say CrossFit is constantly varied functional movements performed at high intensity. So the first thing we're going to talk about is constantly varied. So what do you think constantly varied means? If I tell you we're going to vary something, we're going to change it up, right? So if you're working out, what can you vary? What's something that you have control over that you can change? And the first thing we're going to talk about is your reps. You can change in reps. You can vary your reps. So if you're doing a workout, let's say you got 3 rounds, and that's another thing. You can vary the rounds. So if you have a workout that's 5 rounds and you're doing 10 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, and 10 air squats. So you can make it, instead of 10, 10, 10, you can say 15, 15, 15. You can say 20, 20, 20. You can make it, instead of 5 rounds, you can do a double. You can say 10 rounds. So that's something that you can vary. So what's something else that you can vary? Let's say the weight. We can vary the weight of the whatever it is you're using. So if you're using 95 pounds for thrusters, you can use 115. You can use 135. You can actually go up to, I see you guys doing 205. So you can vary the weight, right? What else can you vary? How many people out there use barbells? There are a lot of men and women out there that love their barbells. But why, instead of using a barbell, why don't we change and start using, maybe we can change it to a dumbbell, or maybe start using a kettlebell. So that's another thing that we can vary. What else can we vary? We can vary our rest period. Yes, right, your rest period. Maybe you're doing a workout where you're doing a really hardcore, 1 minute workout, and then for every minute you take 15 seconds off, or half a minute. So you got a 1 minute hardcore workout, 30 seconds off, 1 minute on, 30 seconds off. You can limit that 30 seconds. You could actually just take the thing out and just say no more breaks. So you can limit your time, your rest period. What else can you? What about a weight vest? Can you use a weight vest? I use a 20-pound weight vest. And guess what? That increases the intensity of the workout. So that's something else. Now, outside of this, that you're always thinking, these are some of the more common ones that people think about when he's talking about vary. But what else can you vary? Can you vary the temperature, right? What if you're working out outside and you're working out you're working outside where there's a lot of humidity? If you're in Houston, Texas, you're gonna have 100% humidity versus California. So that's gonna really take a toll on you. What about altitude? What if you're working out in Flagstaff, Arizona, or Denver, right? The Mile High City. There's guys that had sub 3-minute Frans that could not do Fran in less than 10 minutes based on this altitude in Flagstaff, Arizona. So the altitude plays a big role. So these are just some other things that you can do to vary. These are things that you have control over and you can vary. And they will make their workout a lot more harder, which is a good thing because that's what we're looking at. We're looking at fitness. So the first thing we talked about is constantly varied. The next thing we're going to talk about is functional movements. So what is a functional movement? Natural. They're natural in nature. These are things that, CrossFit did not make up functional movements, but we utilize them in a big way. So functional movements would be things that you do on a daily basis. If I bend down and pick something up, that's a functional movement. If I sit down and I stand back up, that's a functional movement. If I pick something up to my shoulder, or if I pick something up from my shoulder to overhead, that's a functional movement. If I'm lunging, if I'm walking upstairs, if I'm climbing up on something, all of these are functional movements. And the reason why we like to focus on functional movements is because these are your daily activities. Whether you're at work, if you're a fireman, a police officer, what have you. These are functional movements that are going to support you in your daily activities in life. So functional movements, you've heard of, if I bend down to pick something up, We call that a deadlift. Like I said, we did not make these names up, but anyway, we do categorize them. What else do we have? What if you pick something up from the ground up to your shoulder? Okay, that would be a power clean. We call those power cleans, right? What about if I pick something up from my shoulder, if I have something here, and I pick it directly straight up above me? That'd be a push press, right? So we have names for these, and we use them. So push presses. So functional movements, basically things that you do all the time during the day, but we duplicate these in the box. Now, I've been a personal trainer and I've worked in traditional gyms, so I can speak freely about this. The machines that you see in the gym, they actually are the opposite of a functional movement. If you see some of these machines like the pec deck, and you know, the one that it goes like this. I mean, when are you ever gonna do something like that in your life on a daily basis? You just don't. But you will bend down and pick something up. You will pick something up to your shoulder. You will push something up above your head. Or if you have to climb on something, we do box step ups. If you have to step up onto something. So all of our movements are focused around functional movements, right? This is a good thing. This is what you want, right? So functional movements. So that's the second piece of CrossFit. The first one, constantly varied, functional movements, and the last one we have is high intensity. Now, when we're talking about high intensity, there's three things that you need to know about this. And it's not just going out there and, you know, trying to get your heart rate up to 200 beats per minute. But the first thing we need to talk about on high intensity is, can you guys see this? Okay, mechanics. Okay, mechanics. You need to get the mechanics down of an exercise. The technique part, you got to get the mechanics down. Once you understand the mechanics of something, then you can move on from there. But the first thing that we teach when it comes to high intensity is mechanics. I see a lot of guys, I'm guilty of this. Get in the gym, you want to pick up the most weight, right? You know, you sit in there and you're like, oh yeah, throw some weight on there. It's like, don't do that. That's like what you do not want to do. You're going to wind up on the injury list and you're not going to become fit. And the whole reason why we do CrossFit is to be fit. What's the next one after mechanics? We have consistency. Consistency. Meaning you want to, once you get the mechanics down of an exercise, you want to be able to be consistent with it. Meaning you want to be able to duplicate your good mechanics over and over and over. And in time, this is what's going to make you better at the exercise. And it's going to be the safest way to do it. You do not want to start doing high intensity, especially with weights. If you're doing like snatches or power cleans or squat cleans, if you're using those with some heavy weights and you're doing them wrong, you're going to develop bad habits. And that's the last thing you want to do. And then the last thing that we want, finally, is the intensity. Now you can ramp up the weight. Okay, so the first thing, mechanics, get the movement down. Consistency, where you can do it over and over and over, and then you want to finally, you can start throwing some weight on there and get more intense with it. I will say that the best way to learn when you're getting into more high intensity, like if you're going to be using weights and things, you don't have to start off with a heavy weight. You can actually use a PVC bar or PVC pipe, or just maybe the bar by itself. And then once you start to understand what the movements are and how to do those, then you can move on and start putting on the weight. And everybody's different. So some people, they might learn some of these a lot quicker than others if they have a lack of athleticism background and they've done these things before. Other people come into this and it might take them longer. So, and don't feel bad, it's okay. The bottom line is that you do this safely. You want to do it right, but you want to do it safely, because that way you stay uninjured. You do not want to wind up on the injured list, and then you're not going to be doing any of this. So anyway, let's do a recap. Okay, what is CrossFit? Somebody comes up to you and they say, what is CrossFit? You're going to tell them it's constantly varied functional movements at high intensity. And that, my friend, is the formula for fitness. This will get you fit faster than anything. I challenge you, if you've thought about doing CrossFit, or if you even think you want to do CrossFit, give it a shot. Because if you give it a shot, I have a feeling that you're going to like it. And obviously, if you like it, you'll continue to do it. So I hope you got something out of this video, guys, and you will share this. If you do like it, smash the like button, and if you're new, consider subscribing, and I will see you guys on the next video. Thank you very much.